How's it going? Chris Comments once again. It is Monday, October 25th, 2021. This show's about common sense on common grounds. And on the subject of the political aspect, we got the Democrats and Joe Biden coming through with a deal. Excuse me. With the deal, $2 trillion. Looks like that's what's going to be settled on, except that the original proposal was 3.5 trill, something that we all know that we're good with. We all know that we can actually hold up on our end in paying the taxes for that bill. Now for those who haven't really been paying attention, Manchin and Sinema, two Democrats that are opposed of this thing, mostly because they're catering to the corporations in their state. They're still complaining and all this other crap, despite the fact that it's been lowered down to 2 trillion instead of 3.5 trillion. And what boggles my mind out of all of this is that when you get something like Trump, who votes to scratch so many programs and reinstate others and just simply passes it with or without anybody's permission, my question to the Democrats and Biden administration is, well, why not just do the same? If it's going to get scratched and wiped off anyway once you're out of office, well, then why not just pass the bill and let it fly and, let the next president who takes over deal with it? Why not just let that happen instead of trying to get this everybody in on it together kind of thing when nobody's in on it, other than the Democrats, the people that are supporting the current administration, and, the rest of the public like myself who are all for it. Just pass the damn bill and worry about the repercussions later, because again, once the opposition gets one of theirs into the White House, it's going to get scratched. We can all see it. The past Republican president was proof of that. The previous president was proof of that. But that's my spiel on this that's going on with that right now. Something else that took place concerning I already forgot what it was. Oh, Taiwan. Taiwan is its own country. Taiwan is its own country. It's not a part of the CCP. For those who don't understand, CCP is the organization running over, taking China. I've already given plenty of posts about how they're murdering their own people, as well as murdering others around the world. Going to conflicts with the Philippines, their border along India. With India, they've already went to conflicts with Indian army, and they didn't invade, but they certainly did flex their muscle by bombing and shooting and killing Indian forces along the India-Chinese border. The Uyghurs, they've been enslaved and forced into exile. Hong Kongans have been arrested for no reasons other than they just don't want to be a part of China. Reunification. They were their own country for a while. Taiwan is next. Taiwan's not going to go down without a fight, unlike Hong Kong, where they had very little to no army. Taiwan has built its own army. It's not really as strong as China's, but it's enough to put a dent into Chinese power Um, should they ever go around to throwing down, and the U.S. claiming to back it up. I hope that's true. You know, it's strange because I'm 49, 48, going to be 49 this year, and before this year's up, and hell, even I wouldn't mind, showing support. I'm too old, but I wouldn't mind doing anything, in taking in backing up Taiwan to the next level. Of course, I wouldn't mind doing it here for the U.S. on the U.S. side with all the countries, that are on U.S. We got a supposed second wave or another wave of migrants coming, I think, from Honduras. I can't remember which country, but it's one of the countries in Central America, South America, and it looks like they're getting prepared to make another migrant move over here to the U.S. And it's not for any reason other than there's just too much pressure on them in the countries that they're asylum seeking. What's interesting is how they already filled out proper paperwork in Mexico and in other countries south of Mexico, and they're gonna take that. They filed their identification, filled out all the paperwork, and they're gonna take it all the way up here to the U.S., which honestly I think is pretty good, because of the simple fact that that's the one complaint that everybody's been talking about, every opposition has been talking about, that they should be doing it the correct way. They should be doing it with filing the papers and getting themselves vetted in and all this stuff. Well, a couple of years has gone by, a few years. The ones from Honduras, it's been a couple of years. The ones from Venezuela, it's been more than a couple of years as well. The El Salvadorans from as early as 2015 or 2016, the paperwork that they filled out should already have been cleared and notarized and all this good stuff. They should be already in here by this time. They should have been, had their background checks and all that good stuff taken care of. Same thing with everybody that's already done the virus tests and all this other stuff, done the coronavirus test and everything. There should be no reason for the opposition now. And anybody that is, especially concerning those that already went through the policies and procedures, well, they're just people of hate. The opposition that is towards them. And the people of hate should just, should shut up or, do something to get the vetting done more proficiently. Since that's their big score, since that's the big thing that they're talking about, that it should be done right, it should be done with the papers and all this other crap. Well, when you get migrants coming over here after doing all that stuff, well, who are they to talk about them staying in Mexico? Who are the haters, the ones that are talking about hate? If you're not doing your part and making sure that they're being vetted and all this good stuff, then you're completely worthless, or you're like people like you and me that, they just don't care. We're happy to take their word for it. We're happy to take the immigrants' word for it, the immigration department's word for it. We don't need to, we don't need to do the Gestapo thing. So that's the deal right now. It's last week of October. Everybody stay happy, stay safe out there. There's celebrations here in San Antonio that are going to be taking place as early as this week for the Day of the Dead celebrations. I think that's very dumb, because the Day of the Dead is not so much a celebration as much as it is a ritual. You want the beer drinking and all that to go on during Cinco de Mayo. Cinco del Drinko, because it was it's a glorious battle that took place, against all odds, which led to a year and a half later to Mexican independence. That was one of the Kickstarters battles that took place. You want Cinco del Drinko to be the thing to be partying. As far as the Day of the Dead goes, well, that's a ritual. It's a spiritual, at peace with oneself and soul, heart, mind, and soul, with communing with the dead. I'm the people to have a celebration and get liquored up and all this other garbage. That doesn't make any sense. You don't do a Mardi Gras style partying on Easter. You do that before the 40 days Lent situation ritual. You do that before you go to Lent. And I guess that could be the meaning as to why people are trying to celebrate it with things. But here's the thing: Lent is a Catholic ritual sacrifice. For 40 days and 40 nights, you're giving up something, luxury or whatever, luxurious or habitual or whatever, in order to show love and respect to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who went 40 days and 40 nights without any luxury, crossing a desert. And that's the metaphor to it. That's the spiritual ritual to it. Day of the Dead is nothing like that. Day of the Dead is not even a Christian thing. It's my ancients. It's something that my ancients did. The ancient Aztecs. It's a ritual for communing with the dead, and it was adopted by Christianity. Sure. A lot of people still use the Lord's Prayer while going into communing with the deceased relatives, mostly because nowadays we are of Christian upbringing, Christian baptismals, and we chose to live our modern day warriors, if I could get away with saying that, our modern day warriors' life through the Christian code of conduct, and as opposed to being the paganistic or rather just multi-deitied religion that our ancient ancestors did. So it's just a little bit weird for people. I'm not going to be like going any strike or waving a banner or anything like that. I'm not doing that. But I am saying that I got to voice my concern over that, because it's kind of a strange thing to be doing. Well, let's get the partying out of the way. Well, it's not a party festival any more or less than it's a sacrificial festival. You're not giving up anything. You're not giving up any bad habits for Day of the Dead. You're not developing them either. You're not even acknowledging any kind of habits, good or bad habits, on the Day of the Dead. On the Day of the Dead, it's just a simple seance prayer ritual that you do with your loved ones, your deceased loved ones, and connecting heart, mind, and soul. And that's it. You're just commemorating the dead. So it's kind of boggled my mind as to why there would be drink specials. Day of the Dead drink specials. Day of the Dead celebration. Day of the Dead, learn the history. Day of the Dead, let's commemorate. I just don't get it. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. But that's fine. We'll have to see how this goes a few years down the line, and take it from there. So that's the dealio. It's October 25th, 2021. Y'all stay safe out there. Have a happy Halloween. I post every Monday. So we'll see you the day after actually the Day of the Dead, November 1st. So y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. Chris's comments. Show of common sense on common ground. Out.